So hello guys and welcome back to the channel. If I pan you guys around, you'll see we're at the canal. And today is going to be the first day I attempt to catch the first tench of the season. Now, without further ado, we're going to have to find a location to fish. This water is almost crystal clear, and although it's good for finding fish and finding structure, it's terrible for fishing. And now what we're going to do is we're going to travel the canal and find an area that I think is suitable for fishing in these conditions, and I'm going to go through it with you. So without further ado, we're going to find an area to fish, and then we're going to go through the tactics and setups that I'm using to hopefully try and catch the first tench or two of the season. So I found the first tench of the session as I'm biking along looking for areas to fish. We've got one down there, we've got one just down here which was feeding, and there's a couple just a bit further up, but I'm not going to be fishing here. And that is because the bottom here is very flat, there's no features, the water is gin clear. These fish aren't going to feel confident feeding over my baited lines, no matter how light I'm fishing. So I'm afraid I'm going to have to find somewhere else that has more cover for the fish, where I think I can actually sit and have a bait there for longer. So I've just now found the perfect spot that combines the two things we were looking for today. Fish, that being tench, I think, and the weed and the cover that we need to be able to fish in the clear water confidently to be able to get bites. So I've seen, not necessarily fish per se, but I've seen bubbles fizzing up, which is indications of fish feeding, and we've also got loads of reeds on the inside bank and loads of thick blanket weed in the middle. It's horrible for fishing in, but I know the fish are going to be in there and they're going to be hungry, and my rigs are going to be relatively hidden. So let's get all the stuff set up. I'm travelling relatively light, and then we'll get fishing. Now, the best times to fish the canal in a day are very first light. So in summertime, you could be out as early as 4 in the morning till, let's say, 8 or 9 o'clock in the morning is the best time. And in the evenings, in the summertime, we'll say like maybe 4 or 5 o'clock in the evening up until about 9 o'clock at night, 8:30 at night is the best time. That's what we're doing today. 4 hours fishing approximately, just fishing up until darkness, the best time to catch tench. So I've got two rigs. The one that I'm holding right now is the one I'm going to be focusing on this entire session, which is my float rod. It's the Shakespeare SKP Concept 11-foot float rod, fishing relatively light. So on the Super Team FL reel that I've got on there, it's loaded with about 6-pound main line. And then we've got a very simple waggler setup, just with a crystal waggler. On this particular canal, it's very weedy. And what we're actually doing is we're laying our bait on top of the weed, laying our bread or sweet corn or maggots or whatever we're fishing on top of the weed. So just a bog standard waggler setup, held in place by a couple of stops, and then we're fishing the bait to get down quickly through the layers. Obviously we don't want to be picking up the small fish like the rudd and roach. We're focusing on the tench hopefully today. So I've just got a bulk of a couple of BB shots just above my hook length, and then we've got a hook length of actually just over 3 pound. Because it's gin clear the water, we need to be fishing really light, otherwise these fish are going to see our rig. And on that I've just got a couple of small dropper shots, so 2 size 6s and then down to a small size 14 barbless hook. Perfect for fishing a small piece of bread or cluster of maggots or piece of worm. Absolutely perfect tench candy. Probably fishing mostly bread today, seeing as though bread is what the fish see the most in here with people feeding them. Now I have got a second rod, that's what we're going to refer to as the sleeper rod, and it is the SKP Concept Specialist rod. It's got a bit more backbone. I'm going to be fishing that on a ledger rig, so all we're going to be doing with that rod is basically chucking it out and leaving it to one side. That's why we're referring to it as a sleeper rod. I'm not really going to be paying much attention to it. If it gets a fish, it gets a fish. Fish on, fish on. I think it's a tench we're after. Yep, gotta be. Yep, it's pulling lots of line. Got a £3 hook length on here, so we've got to be a bit careful. So that is the tench we're after. The canal toad has picked up. I'm guessing one of the lock gates have been opened. I was just putting a new bait on the second rod, sleeper rod on the ledger rig. Just looked up, the canal toad had picked up, and my float slowly sank down with the tow. For a second, I thought it might have just been the flow and it flow getting cut up. I thought I'd best strike anyway. And lo and behold, it was one of them really slow takes from the tench. And it is really giving me a run around, and he's gone right back into the swim now, which isn't very good, but if it churns the water up, that can only be beneficial to the swim, let's put it that way. I cannot believe how much of a fight the first tench of the season is putting up. Yes, yes, we've got it. We've got it. I'm just going to hold it in the net while I get all this crap out. Then we'll take a good look at him. I think it's a really nice one. Yeah, really cool colorations on it. Right, so I'm very, very happy with this one. We have caught the target species straight away. Didn't take too long. Put a few handfuls of bait into the swim. Some maggots, some micro pellets, a bit of sweet corn. The float, I've probably been fishing for about 10-15 minutes. And this one graced the net. Picking the swim is absolutely crucial. I saw some bubbles, saw some fizzing up, knew there had to be fish feeding in the area, and it paid off. Right, let's get this one well rested, let it go and see if we can find some more. What cool colours on this one. It's like red dots all over it. Let this fish go about, I don't know, 10-15 yards away from my swim. Just to make sure it doesn't spook off any other tench. Beautiful. See if we can find any more. Another tench on the float. Hopefully it don't pull me into my other line. It's weird, the water's so clear. The moment I hooked it I could see it, but I couldn't see it in the swim. These tench are just so well camouflaged in that blanket weed. Oh no, I've only got £3 line. Let's be careful. Obviously fishing light because the water's so clear. As I mentioned earlier. Oh, it come off! Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? Didn't break me, look. Just come off. That was a good sized tench. Whoa, 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 it's got to be a tench. Did you hear the alarm start to go? Jesus Christ. It's going to loads of weed. My line's going straight down and I can see the fish as across, which means it completely buried itself. It's going underneath the reeds. It's going underneath the reeds. Right in front of me. I'm going to really struggle to land this one, I think. He is not a happy fish. No, we got him. God, he just came out from the weed for a second and we slipped the net underneath him. God, yeah, definitely bigger than that first one. Well, I was starting to get sceptical about the float rig. I caught a tench really early on, straight away, and then I lost two. But thankfully I was saved by the sleeper rod, and that's why it's down there. There's a backup in case a fish goes wandering along and comes across that single piece of sweet corn. And it has just caught me this really nice wild canal tench. These are some really pretty fish. This one's definitely a better looking one than the first one I caught. First one had a bit of a sort of a rash, bit of an irritant, that's why it had them red marks. This one's just a beautiful, big, hard fighting male. Probably a fish of around £4 maybe. Took me through all the weed, but we finally managed to land him underneath the reeds in the margin. I am so happy with that. Just on a single piece of sweet corn, 3-1 in ledger rig. Let's get this one back. just gone, well, just about to recast my sleeper rod. Just as I've looked over, it started to bend round. I think it's a bream. Not a tench we're after, but I'll take it. I'll take it. It is. Single piece of sweet corn on the hair. Lovely slab. Oh, in the net. Well guys, it's not the tench we were after, but that is very, very much welcomed from the canal. I love catching these bigger species from the canal. So far today I've managed to avoid catching any small fish, not caught any small roach or rudd. We've just caught big fish like this one. And that is an absolutely gorgeous bream. Really dark, covered in spawning tubercles. Will probably be spawning in maybe about a month or so. That's awesome. Right, let's get it back. So guys, the sun is now setting quite quickly. Probably only got about 20 minutes of light left, but I think it's time we packed up, got the net dried off, and I think I start making my way home because I am well happy. Caught a wonderful big slab. It's probably about, I don't know, 4.5 pound. Real nice bream, and my first 2 tench of the season, which was wicked. And actually, I had more action on my sleeper rod that was supposed to be not doing anything than the actual float rod. I did unfortunately lose, I think, at least 3 tench, which I'm a bit gutted about, but I'm fishing a really weedy area. So the fact that we managed to land some anyway is fantastic, so I'm more than happy. I hope you've enjoyed watching this. If you want to check out all the gear and equipment that I've used today, including my luggage, I'll leave it all down in the description below. So I hope you guys have enjoyed it. Leave a like if you liked it, and I'll catch you guys later.